A very warm welcome to this particular video. And here I'm going to talk about how exactly the control and coordination system work. So now control and coordination is what? Is actually the way we are wired. Wired as in like neuron. What are neurons? Neurons are the nerve cells, which are specialized cells, and they are present in the body throughout. And that is how exactly I'm able to talk to you. I will be able to respond to you, and you sitting there watching my video, able to comprehend and understanding my what I'm explaining here is also through your neurons. Neurons are the cells, and they are the part of the nervous system. Nervous system is actually divided into three parts: central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomic nervous system. Now, if we come to the high school syllabus all across the world, that is, most of the syllabus except for IGCSE, CIE specifically, I have never seen talking about autonomic nervous system. Actually, I think that even IGCSE, CIE also doesn't talk about autonomic nervous system. So basically, what you learn is mostly central nervous system, and the peripheral nervous system. Now, the central nervous system includes your brain and the spinal cord. And the peripheral nervous system is all the nerves which is going to your peripheries of the body, and that's why all the sensitivity comes across. Now, the topic I'm going to take today, I'm just going to share my screen, and what I'm going to teach you today is about what is synapse. First of all, I'm going to show you a picture of neuron so that you will understand it better. And then I'm going to talk about the synapse. What is synapse? We will know once we see the picture. Just a moment, please. And here my screen is shared. This particular page is actually the page of the book of the NCERT CBSE. But I believe that in science, especially, and maths as well, the different syllabus or specification, they are actually just, the names, because whatever happens, whichever syllabus you follow, you really cannot change the part of the body, correct? That is not going to change whatever happens. So if you can see what I'm trying to show here is this is the nerve cell. As I said, it is specialized cell. So what is the meaning of specialized cell? Specialized cell means that it is just specific for this function. So it's a cell, it's an animal cell, but it is performing only one type of function. What do we see? Does it even look like a cell? If you are not aware of cell and everything, then probably you will say, no, doesn't even look like a cell. And I probably have to agree with that, right? It doesn't look like a typical cell. But if you look at it, it has got membrane, right? Yeah. And then we have a nucleus. So nucleus and cell membrane, this part. But now because it is specialized, it has got dendrite, and this part is also known as dendron, which looks like branches of a tree, isn't it? And this is very important part, dendrite, because it helps you to actually have the sensitivity. And if you notice here, this is called as axon, which is like looking like a tail. But the important part is that it is covered with myelin sheath. It is not marked here, not labeled, so I will do that for you. Myelin sheath. Now, this myelin sheath is covering, as you can see, and this is made up of fatty layer. The significance is that it helps in the smooth conduction of the impulses throughout. Now, what are the impulses? That I will talk about for sure. And it ends here in the axon terminal. This is also known as axon terminal or nerve ending. And so what happens after this? This is just one neuron. So how the communication goes throughout the body? That's very interesting, right? So here will be another neuron, okay? But there they are not physically connected. The interesting part is that nerve ending and the other neuron, they are not physically connected at all. But then how they are connected? How the impulses are passing through? That's a very important thing to understand. So I am just drawing roughly, but I'm trying to copy the same picture. And I think if you really want to understand, you can understand, isn't it? So, sorry about like not having very good drawing here. It is just to understand because I have to talk about this space here. And this space is actually called as synapse. So what is synapse? Synapse is the gap between two neurons. And what happens is that, you know what, like impulses, like I touched a burning candle. What will happen? It will run through my skin and to the sensory neuron. From sensory neuron, it will go to the motor neuron. In between, if it is something emergency, it will also touch the relay neuron in between, and then motor neuron will instruct my muscles to move my hand. That's how the reflex work. I'll definitely talk about it some other day. But here what happens that when the neuron, when it is taking the information, impulse, the impulse, why it is called as impulse? Because it becomes into electrical signal. It is in millivolts, so it's very small, but it is electrical indeed. And so it travels very quickly, 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 quickly. Okay. And in eukaryotes and more advanced organisms like us, obviously, we are the most advanced so far currently in this biosphere on this earth. Because it is made up of myelin sheath, fatty layer, so it will just, jump saltatory movement. This is called as node of Ranvier. It's not Ranvier, it's node of Ranvier. I'll write the spelling for sure. Node of Ranvier. Okay, Ranpier. Okay, yes. And so it will jump and will go to the axon terminal. And then there are certain vesicles. Vesicles are just like, spherical structures. And inside these spherical structures, there will be neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters, for example, acetylcholine or dopamine, these are some of the neurotransmitter. So they actually transfer the impulses in the chemical form from one neuron to the other neuron, and that happens in the synapse, the gap between two neurons. So this is how exactly, if you see, the dendritic tip of a nerve cell sets off a chemical reaction that creates an electrical impulse. First step that has happened here. And then impulses that travel from the dendrite to the cell body and then along the axon to the end. This is all very important if you intend to write your answer. Like if you are from GCSE, you want to write a 6 marker because it could be a question from, a 6 marker question. Please write. All the details are important. At the end of the axon, the electrical impulse sets off the release of some chemicals. These chemicals cross the gap or synapse and then again start the same electrical impulse. How interesting is that? And that's how the impulses are transferred from one neuron to the other neuron. Having said that, it looks like that, it is taking forever from the transfer of, impulses from the one neuron to the other neuron. It doesn't take that long. It is very, very quick because of the myelin sheath, which is made up of fatty layer. And that's how the impulses jump. So I hope that it was useful. That is the purpose of my making these videos. They will be short, but they will be very, very useful. all across the syllabus. And if you need very, specialized tutoring, just as the specialized cells, the nerve cells were, you're most welcome to reach out to me. My numbers are available. You can comment in the section. You can reach out to Abhilasha Dwivedi, and I will be happy to help you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will be posting now on regularly. See you next time.